Good morning, welcome back to the Dugout Football channel, where today I will be doing my match week 11 predictions for the 2019-2020 Premier League season. The games are coming thick and fast. We've obviously got still got some Carabao Cup games to be played. There was some games last night and there's some games tonight as well. But yeah, games are coming thick and fast. We've got one more game week next week, and then it's another dreaded international break. We do hate international breaks, don't we? So, let's have a quick look at how I did last week. So, for match week 10, I predicted the following. Southampton, I predicted Leicester City to win 2-0 against Southampton. It finished 9-0 to Leicester. Yeah, that was an incredible game to watch. Manchester City Aston Villa, I went for a 3-1 win to Manchester City. It finished 3-0. Brighton Hove Albion to beat Everton by 2-0. That finished 3-2. Watford Bournemouth went for a 2-0 win to Bournemouth. That finished 0-0. West Ham Sheffield United went for a 1-0 win to West Ham. That finished 1-1. Burnley Chelsea went for a 3-0 win to Chelsea. That finished 4-2. Went for a 1-0 win to Wolves against Newcastle. That finished 1-1. Arsenal Crystal Palace went for a 2-1 win to Crystal Palace. That finished 2-2. So close with that one. Liverpool Tottenham went for a 3-0 win to Liverpool. That finished 2-1. And Norwich Man United went for a 2-1 win to Norwich. That finished 3-1 to Manchester United. So obviously Manchester United getting an away win as well. And it's the first time that they have scored more than one goal since the Chelsea 4-0 game. So yeah, there we go. So, match week 11, we have the following games. It's Bournemouth against Manchester United, Arsenal against Wolves, Aston Villa against Liverpool, Brighton against Norwich, Manchester City against Southampton, Sheffield United against Burnley, West Ham against Newcastle, Watford against Chelsea, and then two games on Super Sunday, Crystal Palace against Leicester, and Everton against Tottenham. So let's kick things off with Bournemouth against Manchester United. Now the last 5 between these sides have resulted in 4 wins to Manchester United, 1 draw, and the last game was a 2-1 win to Manchester United. Now Bournemouth, yeah, I have to say that for most of their games recently, they've been carving out chances, just not finishing them. And they had Aaron Ramsdale to thank for the game against Watford, because Watford, that game was a very good 0-0. There's not been very many good 0-0s recently, but that one was a fairly good 0-0. And both sides had chances. Both keepers were called into action as well. So Watford can thank Watford can thank Ben Foster. Bournemouth can thank Aaron Ramsdale. So obviously Bournemouth looking for a goal for sure. So yeah, they'll definitely want to try and score. Manchester United have an away win, finally, in the Premier League. 3-1 win against Norwich City, and quite frankly, they were excellent in that game. McTominay, especially Dan James, Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, they look so much better with Anthony Martial up front, Rashford to the left as well. So they look much better, Manchester United. And again, some key players back, obviously without Paul Pogba just now, but they are looking a much better side as well. So obviously Manchester United are playing Chelsea this evening, so it'll be interesting to see how they do in this one. But Man United have got a very good record against Bournemouth. I'm going to say that Manchester United's recent good record against Bournemouth is going to continue. I'm going for a 2-1 win to Manchester United in this one. Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 2. Arsenal against Wolves. And the last 5 between Arsenal and Wolves have resulted in 2 wins to Arsenal, 2 draws, and 1 win to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And the last game was a 1-1 draw at the Emirates. Arsenal, obviously, they are playing Liverpool this evening, but in their last game against Crystal Palace, to be 2-0 up, they really should go and go on and win that game. But defensive frailties again. The thing is with Arsenal, they have a really soft centre, and the worrying thing was that the goals the Palace scored were so easy. Really, I mean, obviously the penalty was given by VAR. It is a penalty, Chambers does dangle a leg, and Zaha goes over it. So that is a penalty, and then Jordan Ayew scoring as well. Jordan Ayew has been absolutely sensational so far this season. Who would have thought that? And then obviously you've got the Granit Xhaka incident. I've obviously had my say on Twitter. I think the reaction that he does, okay, it's one thing to get, booed by the fans and obviously cheered to go off, but the one thing you do not do, slam the armband down in temper, basically tell your fans to F off. I mean, that is the worst thing about it. Telling your fans to F off, that is why the booing commenced. And then, to basically just go straight down the tunnel, take his shirt off as well. So, if I was Unai Emery now, I would strip him of the captaincy. Because I just think you're the Arsenal captain. You are supposed to be the one who leads from the front, and unfortunately he did not do that. He acted like a spoilt brat. So unfortunately, for me, if I was an Arsenal fan now, I would want Granit Xhaka stripped of the captaincy. So that's just me. He won't be involved tonight against Liverpool, so obviously he's out of the firing line at the moment. So, but Arsenal's form is really, really patchy at the moment, and to go 2-0 up against Crystal Palace and not win was very, very poor. Wolves, obviously coming off the back of a 1-1 draw with Newcastle, and in all honesty, they could have snatched 3 points, but they'll take a draw because Newcastle were pretty good in that game, and Wolves were very, very fortunate probably to get a draw, but obviously Dubravka's mistake allowed Johnny to score as well. So, but for this game, I really can't separate Arsenal and Wolves. I think it's going to be a very, very close game. I think both sides are in okay form. Obviously, Arsenal are a wee bit patchy, but Wolves, they have picked up quite recently, so can't really separate them. It was 1-1 the last time. I'm going for another 1-1 in this one. Arsenal 1, Wolves 1. I do think Arsenal will get a draw against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Aston Villa against Liverpool. Now, the last 5 between Aston Villa and Liverpool have resulted in 3 wins to Liverpool, 1 draw and 1 win to Aston Villa. And the last game between Aston Villa and Liverpool at Villa Park was a convincing 6-0 win to Liverpool. And this was on Valentine's Day, 2016 it was. So that would be very interesting to see how this one... Aston Villa, obviously, coming off the back of a 3-0 defeat against Manchester City. But you have to say, that first half, they really frustrated Manchester City and could have grabbed a couple of goals as well. So, they were very, very good in that first half. Second half, obviously, not came out. But, it's one thing to say that they are doing okay, Aston Villa, and they look a threat. They always look a threat going forward. Defensively, they're not as sound, but the thing is, they could actually be, interestingly enough, this could be a very, very good game for them. Obviously, they are playing Wolves tonight in the Carabao Cup, so that'll be another interesting game as well. Liverpool, obviously coming off the back of a 2-1 win against Tottenham. Could have been a lot more if it wasn't for Paulo Gazzaniga. Gazzaniga was absolutely superb in that game, making 12 saves in that game. And Liverpool probably deserved to win in the end. The amount of chances they had, they were. You always thought in that game when Liverpool went behind, you always thought that they were going to score because they absolutely battered Spurs, and it could have been a lot more, but Liverpool deserved to win in the end. And what was Sergio Aurier doing? I will come to Tottenham in a minute, but what was Sergio Aurier doing for that penalty? I mean, I know there's been a lot of people who are saying, okay, it's a wee bit soft, but I mean, you don't basically put your leg onto Mane's leg and then go down. That was absolutely stupid from Aurier. And Aurier, he has obviously conceded more penalties than he's been at Spurs, so I think he's conceded 4 penalties, and it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. As far as this one goes, I think Liverpool will probably win this one. Got a good recent record at Villa Park, in fact, so Yeah, do you know what? I think it's been a very, very good game, this one. I fully expect goals. Aston Villa have scored in every home game bar one. I think the West Ham game, that was a 0-0 draw, but they've scored in every single home game. Whereas Liverpool have obviously scored in every single away game. So I think Liverpool will win this one. I can't see Villa keeping out Liverpool's front three. But will Fabinho play? That's another thing, because Fabinho is on 4 yellow cards now. If he was to accumulate another one, then he would be banned for next week's big title showdown against Manchester City. So that will be very, very interesting indeed. Title showdown. It's still very early on in the season, but that's a huge game. That is a huge game. So if Liverpool were to miss Fabinho, then that would be very, very interesting. So, but for this one, I think Liverpool will be too strong for Aston Villa. I'm going for a 3-1 win to Liverpool in this game. Brighton against Norwich. Now, the last 5 between the sides have resulted in 3 wins to Norwich, 1 draw and 1 win to Brighton. But obviously this was in the Championship. This is the first top flight meeting between the sides. And the last game, very surprisingly, was a 5-0 win to Brighton against Norwich at the Amex. So, yeah, Brighton doing pretty well. Brighton, fantastic win against Everton. Yes, they were helped by a Lucas Digne own goal, but they were excellent. And in all honesty, they are probably performing a lot better than many people predicted, i.e. me. But I think Brighton are actually doing really, really well. Obviously, Pascal Gross scoring, which is good to see. Neil Maupay as well, top scorer for Brighton. So their home form is really good at the Amex, and they're proving really tough to beat as well, Brighton. So this will be a very, very close game. Norwich City's form, however, is very, very patchy. 4 losses out of the last 5. Another loss against Manchester United, where they had Tim Krul to thank for the game not being an absolute cricket score, because he saved 2 penalties. First one from Marcus Rashford and the second one from Anthony Martial. Fantastic penalty saves they were, really. And yeah, Timo Pukki's gone really, really quiet. He's not scored in the last sort of 6-7 games, so it's going to be very, very interesting, this one. But for me, I have to back Brighton. The way Brighton are playing at the moment, you have to feel that Brighton are going to win this game. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to the Seagulls in this one. Brighton 2, Norwich City 0. Manchester City against Southampton, and the last 5 between Man City and Southampton have resulted in 5 wins to Manchester City. And the last game was a 3-1 win to Manchester City. Manchester City obviously are without Fernandinho. He will be suspended. Unless he might have been suspended last night, so he might be back for the Southampton game this weekend. And to be fair, for the first half performance, they were they couldn't break Villa down, and then obviously they get the whole gift of Raheem Sterling getting that first goal very, very quickly after the second half, and then obviously because they were going to win 3-0. As well, so yeah, so it's a very, very, very good win for Manchester City, and obviously they won 3-1 last night against Southampton as well, and they play Southampton again this week. So yeah, a very, very interesting game coming up. Southampton, obviously, they will definitely need to bounce back. Their last game was a 9-0 defeat to Leicester City, and it's one thing how they played, but yes, Ryan Bertrand gets sent off, but you would expect a much, much better fight from Southampton, and unfortunately that did not occur at the weekend. So yeah, they obviously want to try and bounce back, but the one place you do not want to go when you've lost 9-0 is the Etihad, like I said. Now obviously Man City have won the last 5 meetings. I fully expect Man City to win, but Southampton can take this. They have scored at least 1 goal in their last 5 visits to the Etihad, and they scored last night as well. Jack Stevens scoring for Southampton last night. So, Southampton have a good scoring record at the Etihad, at least scoring 1 goal in their last 5 visits. I think they will get one. I'm gonna say Southampton will get a goal, but Man City will be far too strong for Southampton. But it'll be a much better performance from Southampton that they will not lose by many this time. I'm going for Manchester City 4, Southampton 1. I think it'll be a very good game for Man City, and I think to go into that Liverpool game as well, and obviously the Champions League as well. I think that'll be to Atalanta at the midweek, so that'll be very interesting to see as well. So I'm going for Man City 4, Southampton 1. Sheffield United against Burnley. Now the last 5 between Sheffield United and Burnley have resulted in 3 wins to Burnley, 1 draw and 1 win to Sheffield United. This is their first meeting in the Premier League, and the last game between Sheffield United and Burnley was a 3-3 draw. Wow, will we get something of the same? If we do, then we'll be spoilt for goals for that one. Sheffield United, another fantastic away point against West Ham. Could have probably won it as well. They were probably the much better side in that second half. Sheffield United really proven to be a very tough nut to crack at the moment, and this is very good when you want to stay in the Premier League, and I think they are playing really well as well. Obviously, Lys Mousset has scored 2 goals in his last 2 games. And you know, they are looking really good defensively as well. So very good times if you're a Sheffield United fan. Burnley, obviously 4-2 defeat to Chelsea, but you know, they were very poor against Chelsea. Wonder goal from Jay Rodriguez though, that was really good as well. And then obviously Dwight McNeil getting another goal as well. So in fact, Burnley have actually scored in all of their away games this season so far. So, but the one place that Sheffield United love playing is Bramall Lane, and I actually think Sheffield United will sneak a win here. I think it'll be a very close game. Won't be many goals. Sheffield United don't score many goals. They've only scored, I think, 9 goals this season, but Sheffield United are very good defensively at the back. So I think this is going to be a clean sheet, and I think Sheffield United will win this one. Going for Sheffield United 1, Burnley 0. West Ham against Newcastle United. In the last 5 between the sides, this is very interesting. I've resulted in 2 wins to West Ham and 3 wins to Newcastle. And the last game was a 2-0 win to West Ham. West Ham's form has been really up and down. Especially the way that they've been playing recently. It's one thing to say that they really should have won that game against Sheffield United, but the fact is that Sheffield United were very good. This is going to be a very interesting game. They've got a very good record against Newcastle, especially at home, so this is going to be very interesting indeed. I think they're missing Fabianski, and the reason is Roberto is a good keeper, but he's not as good as Fabianski, and I think they are missing Fabianski at the back, so that's another thing you have to say that they are definitely missing. Newcastle United, obviously coming off the back of a 1-1 draw against Wolves. Still no goal for Joe Linton. Still, well, obviously, Joe Linton hasn't scored for his past 6 games. Almiron, when is he going to get a goal? When is he going to get a goal? I don't see it. I don't see it coming, to be honest with you. Saint Maxime, he's not scored either. So I think people have been very surprised of how poor they have actually been. I think people expected more of them, actually, to be honest. But, you know, Newcastle United, they will be without Sean Longstaff, who was sent off against Wolves. You know, you've seen them given, haven't you? So, yeah, it's an interesting game. But Newcastle United, on their travels, they're not very good. I'm going for West Ham to probably break the curse of draws and losses. I think West Ham will win this one. I'm going for West Ham 2, Newcastle United 0. Watford against Chelsea. Now this is the evening time kickoff. The last 5 between the sides have resulted in 1 win to Watford and 4 wins to Chelsea. And the last game was a 2-1 win to Chelsea. But stranger things have happened in this game. Watford. Very good point to pick up against Bournemouth. They need to now convert draws into wins though. Because they've still not won a game this season. Lost 2-0 against Everton in the Carabao Cup, so they can focus on the league. They could definitely focus on the league, and then obviously the FA Cup will come into January. So they've got another thing to do to deal with in that one. So yeah, but they had Ben Foster to thank for in that game. A couple of wonderful saves from him, and you know what? Aaron Ramsdale was pretty busy at the other end as well. So very, very entertaining 0-0 between Watford and Bournemouth the last time. So this will be a very, very interesting game. And coming up against Chelsea side, who are absolutely rampant. Christian Pulisic getting his hat-trick. Perfect hat-trick, in fact. Left foot, right foot and header. Brilliant performance from Chelsea. But they did concede 2 late goals. I don't think Frank Lampard will care any less at all. He does want clean sheets, though. That is the main thing to say. But I fancy Chelsea in this one, and I'm actually going to go for a real hammering on this one. I just think Chelsea are absolutely on fire at the moment. I think Chelsea will win this one and win it comfortably. I'm going for Watford 0, Chelsea 4. So another 4 goals for Chelsea. And could Abraham be on the score sheet this time? Obviously, an assist in the last game. Pulisic is on fire. Mason Mount. I mean, Chelsea have got a really good squad at the moment, and they deserve to be 4th place where they are at the moment. They deserve to be in 4th place at this present moment in time. But I'm going for Watford 0, Chelsea 4. And then we come to Super Sunday, and it is Crystal Palace against Leicester City. Now, the last 5 between Crystal Palace and Leicester, 4 wins to Crystal Palace and 1 draw. And the last game was a 1-0 win to Crystal Palace. So Leicester City have got a very poor record at Selhurst Park, so this will be very interesting to see. Crystal Palace obviously coming off the back of a 2-2 with Arsenal. They'll be pleased that they came away with that, because obviously VAR came into connection with that game. The winning goal that Arsenal thought they had. Yeah, I don't know why that was disallowed. So you can kind of see that was absolutely ridiculous. But Crystal Palace again, I think Luka Milivojevic has now got the 4th best penalty kick record in the Premier League, which is absolutely sensational. I think he's only behind Matt Letizia, Alan Shearer. I can't remember the other one, but he is a very, very good penalty kick taker. And Crystal Palace getting really good results, and they're in 6th place. They are probably performing better than many people have predicted them to do. And I actually expected Crystal Palace to struggle, but Roy Hodgson has done a fantastic job at Crystal Palace, and very, very good games coming up for them as well. So they're coming up against a rampant Leicester City side who are absolutely magnificent against Southampton. 5-0 up at half time. They could even try and defend that lead because they knew Southampton weren't going to score, but they went for the juggler and they scored another 4 goals, and that is probably the best Leicester City performance that I've seen. Brendan Rodgers has done a fantastic job, and Leicester have got the biggest away win in Premier League history, 9-0 away against Leicester City. That matches Manchester United's 9-0 win against Ipswich Town in 1995. So Leicester City are in rampant form at the moment. So as for this game, obviously, like I said, Leicester City have a very poor record against Crystal Palace. But I do think that Leicester City will go away to Selhurst Park, and I do expect them to pick up another win. I'm going for Leicester City to win this one by 2-1. Crystal Palace 1, Leicester City 2. And the final game of Matchweek 11 is Everton against Tottenham. The last 5 between Everton and Tottenham have resulted in 4 wins to Tottenham, 1 draw. And the last game, I don't think it's going to be this scoreline. The last game between the sides was a 6-2 win to Tottenham. That was when Tottenham were absolutely flying. How times have changed, though. These two are really struggling for form. Everton, my goodness. You win against West Ham, and then they go to Brighton and lose 3-2. Really, really poor performance from them. Everyone will be saying Jordan Pickford. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. That first goal for Brighton, it's literally right at him. It's not in the corner. If it's going in the corner, then you can say, okay, fair play. But it was right at him. It wasn't quite in the corner. It was going towards his side. Just punch it. Just punch it away, or just push it away. Didn't do that. He let it go straight in. So that's another goalkeeping howler, I'm afraid, from Jordan Pickford. And Everton defensively. I mean, like I've said, Everton defensively under Marco Silva are really, really poor at the moment in time, and you know, it's only going to increase the pressure on Marco Silva as well. You know, I think he's on a loose wooden peg at the moment. Actually, Marco Silva. I do think he will be gone very, very soon, but it's a question of when, not if. I think, and you know, this is going to be a very interesting game. Coming against Tottenham side, who obviously lost 2-1 to Liverpool. Roy Keane called Danny Rose and Serge Aurier dumb and dumber in the game against Liverpool because they had a torrid afternoon against Mane and Salah. And especially with Liverpool's fullbacks as well, Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold playing really well. But obviously Harry Kane's scoring, but they're down in 11th place. Who would have predicted that? Tottenham are really on patchy form. They want to win. Will they get it here? Everton have not beaten Tottenham at Goodison Park since 2016, I think it is. So it's been a real long time. No, 2012, sorry. 2012. It's been a long time since Everton last beat Tottenham. There's been a lot of draws between Everton and Tottenham. But for me, I'm going to go for a Tottenham win here. I just think that Everton are struggling for form at this moment in time. Tottenham as well, they're struggling for form as well. But the way that Tottenham played in the first half against Liverpool will spur them on, I think, to win this one. I'm going for Tottenham to win this one very narrowly by 2-1. Everton 1, Tottenham 2. So that is it. That is my match week 11 predictions. Now I will go through them very quickly as follows. So we have Bournemouth 1, Manchester United 2, Arsenal 1, Wolves 1, Aston Villa 1, Liverpool 3, Brighton 2, Norwich 0, Manchester City 4, Southampton 1, Sheffield United 1, Burnley 0, West Ham 2, Newcastle United 0, Watford 0, Chelsea 4, Crystal Palace 1, Leicester City 2, and Everton 1, Tottenham 2. So that is it. That is my match week 11 predictions. Please leave yours in the comment section below. Join in if you want to. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And if this is the first video you've watched, and if you like my content, then please hit that subscribe button. Leave a like, leave a comment. That'd be fantastic. The live games this week are as follows. Bournemouth against Manchester United. That is BT Sport. 12:30 that game kicks off. And then we've got Watford Chelsea. That's a Saturday night tea time game. That's live on Sky Sports main event and Sky Sports Premier League. And then Super Sunday we have Crystal Palace against Leicester. That will kick off at 2 p.m. And Everton against Tottenham. That's a 4:30 game. So some very good games coming up, especially as well. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the football. Good luck to your teams. I hope it's a very good weekend for your football team. And we'll see what happens. And in my next video, I will be doing my match week 11. No, actually, it's match week 12 predictions for the SPFL. So I'll be doing that as well. That will be a very short one, though. I will also include the Carabao Cup draw in that video as well. So lots to look forward to. Plenty of videos coming as well. Obviously, we do have Champions League football coming up this week. Got Europa League as well. So lots to look forward to on this channel. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back very soon with some more videos. And like I said, enjoy the football. Some good games coming up for sure, definitely this weekend. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back very soon with some more videos. Take care, everyone. Bye bye for now.